Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. My ex lied to me about being divorced, so I ruined his reputation, marriage, and job in one blow. Okay, this is going to be a long story, so bear with me. When I was a naive 24-year-old, I met a charming and very smart and way older man. We call him Jake for the story. His sister is Dana, and I'm Gina. Now to the story. Jake was 42, recently divorced, or so he told me, and got a kid that he would see on the weekends. We met online to a poetry website where both of us used to write. He was very aloof and stern on his comments and not very popular on the website because he used to always come off like an arrogant prit. But I really liked his poems regardless of his personality, and that's how it began. I commented on one and he instantly PM'd me back, praising my writing and asking me if we could collaborate on a duet together. I've already done it 1,000 times with a few friends and people on the site that I respected, so I said sure. So long story short, we met on Hotmail Messenger. This was nearly 11 years ago, kids, so no WhatsApp, although we did chat on Facebook too. This will come relevant later. Long story short, we instantly connected. He was funny, handsome, and really sweet, underneath all his bravado. And his dark sense of humor was right up my alley. We spent months pulling all-nighters just talking and writing together. Not humble bragging, but I was pretty popular on the site because I won a few awards, so, by association, he became popular too. People started to read Jake's poems and commented, and obviously he had a huge head about it. But I digress. Our relationship became more serious after he confessed that he was falling for me, and I was smitten, so I went along with it. We talked about my recent breakup, and he assured me that he would never lie to me because of course he used that, witch of his ex-wife, cheated on him, and he was devastated until he met me. I was shocked in how bad her ex was, but assured him that I was all in, and I meant that. One important detail about our turbulent romance is that he was in South America. He's from there, and I was still living in Italy, in my hometown. So, after almost 2 years of excuses of how tied up at work he was, I decided to surprise him with a visit. I bought my ticket and literally was like a dream. He picked me up, we kissed, hugged, and he took me to his beach house, which would have been my first red flag, but I was dumb, young, and in love, saying that it would be so much easier and fun for me doing touristy stuff on a beach port than staying in his suburban house with no car. Because I told him in such short notice that he didn't have the time nor the means to take time off, which again is a blatant lie because he was one of the partners of the company. But again, I bought it and off I went on my own almost for the entire week that I was there. He only spent one night with me and the rest of the week just picked me up from whatever it was that I ended up wandering, and we hang out for a few hours, have sex, and then he just drops him off on the house. I know that most of you are thinking, come on OP, just get your head out of your butt and realize what a bunch of BS this is. And believe me, now writing this, I realized how much of an idiot I was. But it gets better. The day before I have to go back to Italy, he took me to dinner with his 6-year-old son and his sister. I was super happy to meet his family and son, but got caught off guard when he just introduced me as his friend from Italy dropping in town for a tourist. Her sister was super sweet, albeit a bit awkward, and his son was adorable. We ate, talked, and off we went. It picked me up first thing in the morning and dropped me off at the airport. Now that you got the full story, I'll get to the good part. 2 days later, and still a bit jet-lagged, I got a very interesting email from his sister Dana. Her email was short and very simple. Dear Gina, I know that you thought I was weird and maybe a bit rude when we met, but it was only because I was tricked by Jay to join the dinner with his kid. He never mentioned that you guys were dating, but after confronting Jake, he confessed and begged not to tell anyone or his marriage will be ruined. But you're such a sweet and young girl that doesn't deserve his deceit. Jake is still married and never left their home. Don't just take my word for it. And Dana sent me pictures of his real Facebook profile, and surprise, the perfect little family. I thanked her and shut down my computer. I was devastated. I really thought Jake was the love of my life and was seriously considering moving there. I spent all night crying and drinking wine until I got myself the worst migraine. But the heartbreak lasted about 12 hours. At 4 a.m., I got up, showered, made a pot of fresh coffee, and started planning my revenge. I was hurt, yes, but also so angry that he not only deceived me, but dragged his sister and his innocent child in his lie. I was at the other side of the world and didn't have the money to pay someone to kick his butt or egg his car. But, as my Sicilian father would say to me, if someone slacks you, don't turn the other cheek. Cut off their frickin' hand. And so I did. Cue my sweet revenge. I sat down at my desk and turned on the computer and logged into his Hotmail. I didn't have the password, but I knew him well enough to answer his security questions on the section Forgot Password. 123 bum baby. I'm in, and holy crap. This arrogant piece of human crap was not only dating me, but other two girls. I quickly logged into his Facebook too because he had everything linked, the naivety. So I quickly changed all his passwords to I'm a prick, and discovered that his personal email was also connected to his work account. I dug through his emails for 2 hours. This idiot never erased anything, so he had more than 5,000 emails. Until I found something very interesting. They're girls he was also seeing and their very hot email exchanges. Dick pics included. So what did I do? You guessed. I crafted a very lengthy and explicit email with pics and chat logs attached, confessing to Jake's wife. Posting as him, obviously. Begging for forgiveness and declaring how much of a crap person I was, and as a proof of my willingness to change and transparency, was sending this email to the girls too. But that I did it only because I was a closeted gay and thought that being a player would help me forget how much I really loved guys. That I was sick of pretending and hoping she could move on and maybe be friends. But not only to them, I freaking copied his entire list of contacts, including the CEO and partners of the company he worked at, his parents, and D, of course. This email was perfect. All the pictures and chats, myself included, he never exchanged with any other women. I copied myself on the list obviously as a countermeasure and moved on to part 2 of my plan. I changed all his Facebook and declared that I was so relieved that people finally knew who I was. The pride flag was his new wall picture, and his profile picture was a Photoshop picture of 2 guys kissing. I created 5 different accounts on gay websites with all his info, included his phone number, inserted a chat with a bunch of guys until out of nowhere, this guy sent me, no better yet, he sent Jake a message. Tony was his old uni friend that had always been secretly lusting for him for years, and although I felt bad for this later, I set up a date. Part 3 of my plan. A week after this massive internet blowout and his family and friends angrily calling him all sorts of names and getting fired because his bosses didn't want the bad press. So Jake tried to make amends with his family and friends, makes a barbecue for his birthday. But I would have paid 1 year's worth of salary just to see his face and his guests when in the middle of their celebration, Tony appeared with a bottle of champagne and a bag full of lube and sex toys to celebrate privately, as I asked. Apparently, there was a huge fight and everyone left Jake, flustered and angry, crying because some psycho wanted to ruin his life. I blocked him and forgot about everything until 6 months ago when out of the blue, sent me a message on Instagram asking me why I disappeared and didn't support him when he was at his lowest. And oh boy, the satisfaction I felt when I only replied back, "Sorry Jake, but I think everything you got was karma for all the lies and time you wasted you fed me. Good luck. Oh, and by the way, it was always me." I then blocked him and made my account private. Jake did try to call a few mutual friends to try to get them to give him my number, but they ignored him. They also got the infamous email. So yeah, I got my revenge, and I was worth every single hour. I know, I'm effing petty. Edit 1. And for those who think making him appear gay was wrong of me, let me tell you that it was only because of his very machismo attitude and homophobic personality. And because sadly for most Latin males, there's nothing worse than gay people. I am 100% with the LGBTQ+ community and love and support them dearly. Edit 2. Wow, okay, let me clarify a few points so all the people in the back can put down the pitchforks. I never outed Tony. He was very much outside the closet since he was 12 years old, and on said barbecue, he was never beaten, abused, or in danger. The blowout and the fight was Jake's family and friends blowing up at him. Tony left safely as soon as he realized the setup. 11 years later, he's happily married with a beautiful child and lives in Europe. Can't say which country, but just know he's happy and we're still Facebook friends. I apologized to him a few weeks after the barbecue, and although he was hurt, he forgave me and even laughed at all the things I showed him. Edit 3. And last, I acknowledge that what I did wasn't much better than what he did to me. I was selfish, reckless, and stupid. And I did feel bad for it. And actually, after all that blown, I reached to Tony and apologized to him for dragging him on my petty revenge. He was upset, but after hearing my side, he was glad I did. He only wished I was upfront with him. We didn't end up like BFFs, but he's still my friend on Facebook and always sends me updates on his life. And to clarify a few points. 1. I'm half Italian, half Latina. That's why I'm fluent in both Spanish and Italian. 2. We met in a Spanish poetry website. 3. The mutual friends I talked about are a few friends that lived in South America and wrote on the site with us. 4. They are a very wealthy family, so no major financial issues followed. Jake just lost his job, but a few months later got Gaddy's money and put his own realtor company. I seriously didn't think that this would blow out like this, so I'm not responding anymore. Only saying that this is a memory from one of the most painful times in my life. So it is not fiction, not BS for karma or nothing. It is a memory from a person I'm not anymore. Thanks for reading, and peace. Okay, a couple quick comments, then on to another story. Joshua E. says, Will, as you pointed out yourself, striking that one dude that actually wanted him into it was a dick move on your part. Everything else, if it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. And the other comment from Emoose33. The only thing I have a real problem with is what you did to Tony. That guy had done nothing wrong and probably very messed up being used like that. Not cool. Okay, on to the next story. I cheated back on my wife, who cheated on me to make a point. My wife and I were married for 12 years. 4 years into the relationship, she cheated on me. It was a hookup, which I found out about later. We both did therapy, but I still couldn't get over it, knowing she gave away herself to someone she barely knows. I don't know what I should do now to get over this feeling. I have asked for a hall pass 2 years back when she denied, saying many years have passed and she isn't comfortable with it. I can't get over it, knowing she got away with cheating and can stay in a relationship with me without any repercussions. Why is it my responsibility to stay faithful while she can stay unfaithful? I also fear that she will cheat on me again. I cheated on her back 6 months ago with my female coworker, who has shown interest in me, which my wife still didn't know about. I don't regret my actions, as I only cheated because she didn't accept my hall pass. My cheating was more of a revenge cheat than actual cheating. My only concern is whether I should tell my wife about my cheating or not. Even if my wife found out about my cheating and chooses to divorce me, the fault of breaking our relationship still lies upon her. If she didn't cheat, I wouldn't think of cheating on her. I was an honest and faithful one in the relationship for years. Now for a couple of quick comments. New and Incensed says, You should have just divorced her. You're only 4 years into this train wreck. Never lower your standards to get even. Now you're no better than her. You need to come clean and tell her, as you deserve to know, especially if you plan on staying in the marriage. You can't live this lie and stay with her. Your marriage is toxic and you should probably end it. None of this is remotely normal. And the last comment from Bucks Mega. Yup, what does cheating on her do for you? So you haven't told her, but you're trying to get even? You're going to leave it up to her what she wants to do with the relationship. If you confess to her what you did, you're focused on hurting her feelings. What kind of relationship is that? You're never going to let it go. Divorce already.